The word kleio in the Greek is the strongest word used in the Bible to define grief. It means to wail, weep, or lament, and not only the shedding of tears, but every external expression of sorrow. Hi, and welcome back to another video, and I wanted to use that as an introduction, not to scare you off, but to kind of set the emotional tone for what I'm going to be talking to you about today. And I wanted to share with you some of my paintings that are specifically centered around more vulnerable issues for me to talk about, and those are issues involving healing, mental health, and topics of dissociation and trauma. For me, art and healing have always gone hand in hand, and art has really given a voice to the pain in me that needed to be recognized and acknowledged. The main painting that I'm going to be sharing with you today really tells a story about healing centered around emotional abandonment and topics of dissociation. I think healing can often be a lot more involved because our soul has layers, and because of a certain phenomenon that often happens whenever we undergo any kind of significantly stressful event or chain of events or anything that could really be categorized as trauma. And dissociation is just essentially a splitting off wherein we actually compartmentalize emotions as unique personalities or parts. And I'm sure you've heard someone say before, part of me feels this way, or part of me is in conflict about such and such. And essentially, parts are something that we all have and that we've all developed, and often as a result of some kind of overwhelming situation or trauma. So I want to share with you one of my favorite paintings that has a lot of deep and rich personal meaning to me. It's a painting called Best Friend. And this painting is about sensitive identity issues involving self-abandonment. And self-abandonment can be a trauma response to any kind of overwhelming life situation. Like it's about making an unconscious or conscious decision that who you are is unacceptable, unlovable, or not appropriate, or somehow inherently flawed. And this painting is like a type of memoir of healing from the loneliness and pain of self-abandonment that came out of being abandoned emotionally. Self-abandonment is actually what it says it is. It's like an unconscious or conscious abandonment or rejection or suppression of a part of ourselves. And it's a response that happens inwardly when we believe that life situations or people or relationships are not safe. And for me, this is the trauma surrounding my emotional neglect, and it is about the pain of loneliness. This painting is very emotional to me to look at still, and if you look into the side of the painting, there's two other faces kind of crying where the drips are, and they represent the parts of me that carry the sadness and the tears. And to me, this painting is symbolic of a reconciliation of self and becoming your own rescuer. And you essentially are the only one there for you. You are your own best friend, and it's about returning to the self after splitting off from self. And essentially, it's a conversation between your core self and the parts of you that broke off. The painting is about recovering, and some would like to say your inner child, and it's about recovery from soul wounds and the two parts of me reconciling as best friends would. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me share something so vulnerable and personal. And I do hope and pray that this will be an inspiration to you in your personal artwork, and that art would be something of a conduit of healing and inspiration for you. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.